The opinions expressed on the Custody Queen Show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal, professional legal advice. The persons discussed are fictional and not based on actual clients.
Thought it was love, had kids in between. You can count on us, we're the Custody Queens. Yeah, you can count on us, we're the Custody Queens.
Happy Saturday! This is Brittany Van Veen. I'm here with the Custody Queens this morning.
Woo woo!
Good morning, everybody.
Happy Saturday.
Finally.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It is the holiday season, and we're just going to continue with, talking about everything that goes with the holidays. And included in that very special time of year that I just love and adore also comes some challenging custody and visitation times. How do you co-parent with the holidays? How do we fit everything in? How do we survive as parents? And everything in between.
That's exactly right, Kristen. And for anyone who missed our first episode with Brittany, Brittany is one of our newest attorneys, and we are so excited to have her. She's a certified family law specialist. She knows what she is doing, and thank you for coming back, Brittany. I'm sure you'll be on our show all the time.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's great to be back.
And when Sam says new, it is not new in terms of experience. It is just new to our team. And Sam and I could not be more excited to have Brittany on our team. Not only is she a phenomenal attorney, if I were going through a divorce, I would make sure I give her the dollar right away so that I could retain her in the future. But I'm happily married, so that's not an issue.
I'm going to get married just to get divorced so Brittany could divorce me.
Oh, booyah. All right. But Brittany's also a wonderful human being. And when we look for new attorneys to join our team, it's so much more than, is this person a good attorney?
Absolutely. So we are... I don't know if it was obvious, but we are very happy to have you with us at the Custody Queen.
It is a shared sentiment. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so before we get into kind of the holiday stuff, we're going to do our week in review. So we're going to do highs and lows. I'm going to put Brittany in the hot seat first. So Brittany, you want to tell our listeners what your highs and your lows were for the week?
Ooh, okay. Highs. I just went and had some photos done for Christmas cards and spent the day at the San Diego Safari Wild Animal Park, whatever it's called now.
It's a great place.
With my husband who had never been. I grew up going there. I love that place. So it was my husband's first time. So we had an awesome day. That was definitely a high.
Were the gorillas out when you were there?
We missed the gorillas, Sadly, we did miss them because I get too excited over in the big cat and the tram area. I want to ride the safari. I want to go look at lions. I'm a Leo, so I feel like we just vibe.
You and the lions?
Yeah, me and the lions.
That's the thing is because those, I don't know. I'll swim with sharks, but I don't know about those lions.
Oh, see, well, we can swap then because I'm not about the sharks.
I just feel like the lion could just for sure eat you.
And a shark couldn't?
Well, there are ways to get around it. You got to swim safe with the sharks.
Yeah, turn them on their backs and then go to sleep.
Yeah, if you have
catatonic.
kids, the San Diego Safari is, I'm telling you, it is the best place to go as a parent. It's open air, it's outside, and all ages are entertained. So when you walk in the exhibit, I think it's kind of right to the right, but I am telling you, they have caves set up. And I just sat and watched, no joke, for probably over an hour. They are phenomenal to just observe and watch and the way they interact with each other. It's truly an incredible experience. But I agree, the giraffes, and you know what I also love too? The kangaroos.
What's your favorite animal?
Ooh.
All time.
All-time favorite. I'm pretty fascinated by bears.
Okay.
I don't want to come face to face with a grizzly bear anytime soon, but I've seen a few black bears hiking in Yosemite and Mammoth, and they've come pretty close.
Yeah.
One time we were backpacking, and I opened my tent, and it was probably about 4 feet from me, and there might have been a few choice words and hiding in my tent, but I just think they're pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And we're in their habitat when we're out there camping. That's their world. But I don't know, I'm pretty amazed by them.
Yeah. I like it.
And I don't think I would mind hibernating for several months. All right, Sam, what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal? I thought you guys would never ask.
Let me guess.
I'm not going to say shark. That's too obvious. I would probably say orca. Orca whale.
Yeah, those are pretty
Those
impressive.
are incredible animals.
But they're also like really scary and dangerous. Like they're beautiful, but
they're
they
killer.
like are super, super scary.
Well, they've never killed a human ever.
You want to put money on that?
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say I'm not quite certain on that.
Find me an
statistic.
orca shark attack or an orca attack in the wild. In the wild.
Well, where else would you find an orca?
In like
like
at the
at
parks.
SeaWorld or
There's
something?
been, and we could go, everyone's seen the documentary, you could go down that rabbit hole, but in the wild, find me someone who has died from an orca attack. It hasn't happened.
I think I'm gonna split a hair here because there's a difference between no humans being killed by an orca and an orca attack. I think they inadvertently probably kill some people because I watched one on video almost crush a boat. Just
Okay, that's ancillary. Okay, I'm talking about orca is hunting human. Doesn't happen.
All right, I'm being told by our production team that there is a hint of truth to what Sam is saying. So we'll give it to her. But
I mean,
you know that
you're gonna
Brittany and
ask
I
me a
are
fact
going to go
about my
home
favorite
tonight
animal.
and see if there was any
Google.
casualties from orcas landing on boats.
Ancillary attacks, I'm not going to vouch for. I'm talking direct
you'll have a memo
attack.
on your desk in the morning.
points and authorities attached here too. All right, Brittany, what is your favorite animal?
Oh, hands down, goats. I am obsessed with goats.
Like billy
It's
goats?
like all goats. It's an emotional reaction. Like I will watch videos of goats when I'm having a bad day and cry.
Yes.
I have done one of those like goat yoga classes.
Okay.
I'll
What
just
is
go-
that?
You do
They
yoga.
do them in like
and-
Malibu.
Yes. I drove all the way up to Thousand Oaks to do a yoga class.
Does the goat
where
have a mat?
They climb on you. They're on your mat. Like I'm doing a downward dog and there's a goat like in my face and I peaked. I peaked in that moment. It was the happiest. Don't tell my husband. But
Are you
happiest
supposed to?
day of my life.
Are you supposed to close your eyes?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm crying.
Do
I'm
they
like,
film it?
Not doing yoga moves. I have pictures. I don't have video. I'll
They
show
actually,
you after the show.
I don't know, one of the reality shows I watch was talking about goat yoga recently.
That's a thing?
It is a thing. It's like where you can go into cafes and pet kitties. It's like stimulation for your anxiety.
10 out of 10.
Wow.
gotta
Well,
try
you
it.
gotta take me.
Yeah.
Didn't I
Okay.
We gotta
kiss
do
goats in Mexico? Were those goats?
Something.
No, Sam and I went when we were in Cabo.
We'll have to upload the pictures.
Yes, we got to put carrots in our mouth, and it's so probably not the most sanitary excursion out there. Right before we went off-roading in some pretty cool off-roading vehicles, they take you to like this area, and I'm pretty sure they were goats, but you put carrot in your mouth, and then the goat comes up, and I was just, getting lots of love from the goats.
The best part about that whole trip, though, was we didn't go there to see animals. We went there to ride vehicles.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, we were petting animals, and Kristen's like, go get some more carrots. We got some animals to feed.
Yeah, I kept tipping the guys to give me more carrots because I was just obsessed. And, Jeremy and Sam are, you can have my carrots. But I agree. There is something about a very calming about a goat.
Yeah. And if you are ever having a bad day, just go on YouTube, look up goats in pajamas, and I promise your
Goats
day
And pajamas?
in pajamas.
Goats
like
in pajamas?
onesie baby pajamas. You'll cry, you'll laugh. It's just the best that you can do to cheer up a
That
bad
is
day.
Goats
fabulous.
and onesies. All right.
All right,
Happy
so
Saturday, everybody.
we are going to get back on topic, and we're going to talk about all the holiday cheer.
Well, I was just going to ask Brittany how she stays sane during the holidays.
We know.
But now I know. She watches YouTube videos of goats and onesies.
It's incredible.
All right. Well, Sam, how do you keep yourself sane during the holidays?
I don't. So I gave up trying to just be sane. That's the thing, is that every year has been a little different. It all has its different layers, whether it's work-related, family-related, stress-related. It's not that I've given up. I've just given in to the idea that things are just not going to go the way I want them to. So exactly. That's a way more eloquent way to put it. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and it's doing wonders for my anxiety because I'm a thinker. So I like to overthink everything, kind of run it over, reverse over it several times. So I'm trying to turn a new leaf and just relax. We'll see how it goes.
There you go. Yeah, I love the holidays. It starts with, my birthday, the beginning of November, and then it goes into Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday of the whole year. And I do like Thanksgiving food, but I just love everything about being thankful and expressing gratitude and feeling gratitude, not just waking up and, putting on social media, happy Thanksgiving. It's really embracing the kindness, the love, the gratefulness, and obviously trying to teach that to your kids at young ages. But I really try to feel it and embody it and not just, slap a cool meme up there and say happy Thanksgiving, because it truly is a chance to recenter yourself and to think about everything you've been through the year, the highs, the lows, the challenges, the successes, and just to be content with where you're at. That's something I struggle with. I always want more. I always want to do more. And I'm trying to be more content, so that kind of goes in line with you. But I love the holidays, but I try to cram in so much stuff that last year I really just struggled with enjoying it. It became a chore every day. What do we have to do today? What presents do I have to buy or to wrap, or whose house do I have to bring this gift and this, appetizer? And it almost took kind of the joy out of it a little bit for me last year. So I said to myself this year, you know what? Whatever we can get to, we can, but I'm just going to enjoy my friends, my family, and I love Christmas decorations. I went to Disneyland the other day and they had the tree up, and I literally, kind of like Brittany watching goats in onesies, I was getting teary-eyed walking down Main Street, looking at all the lights and just, having a moment of really appreciating life.
Love it.
But yes, to everyone listening, again, we give a lot of advice that is super easy to preach, but it's not as easy to practice. So when we say we're managing our chaos or we're not filling our calendar with something every day, we have to remind ourselves to do that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely true.
All right, so let's get into a little bit about the holidays, co-parenting. And this conversation does not just specifically relate to parents going through a divorce, parents going through a separation, or custody litigation. This is parents in general. All right, so Brittany, let's start us off.
So I think one of the biggest things is that people need to remember that, and this kind of touches on what both of you are saying, flexibility is really important around the holidays, because we get this thing in our head of here's what we're going to accomplish, here's what we're going to do, here's the traditions that we're going to follow, and things don't always work out the way that you envision them in your head. And flexibility is so important to maintain your sanity, because it's just, no matter how much planning and how much time you put into it, it's not going to work out exactly like you think it is in your head. And so you have to be flexible, and even more so for parents who are going through, the first time holiday season, maybe where their family structure looks different than what they have had in the past. And traditions that you used to follow aren't necessarily something that you can follow anymore. You've got to be flexible. You got to roll with the punches and appreciate the holiday season for what it is, and just focus on your kids and make the best of what you can.
So Brittany, if you were to give one practical tip on how to be flexible this holiday season, what would that be?
I think first and foremost, focus the holidays on your kids, and focus on making each moment count that you do have. Don't focus on the moments that you don't have. Don't focus on how things aren't what you envisioned them originally. Focus on that moment. Look at your kids and look at, what you can do in that moment to make it memorable for them. And, sometimes that means this is a tradition we used to have, and we're going to try this whole brand new tradition because it's just not feasible to do it that way. I just think you've got to be present in the moment. You've got to be focused on your kids. Put, whatever thoughts you have or you are focusing on out of your head and focus it on them instead.
What about you, Kristen? Do you have any practical tips?
Yeah, I think it's more for the parents. I'm someone who fixates on the things that I don't do or that didn't turn out perfect, or that bike that I ordered 4 months ago that didn't make it in time, or the PlayStation, that I had every intent of ordering 6 months ago and now they're sold out. I am someone that tries not to, but does fixate on the things that I don't do or that I can't do for my kids. And so it's a tip for myself is let's focus on what we do as parents, and people going through a transition, and this may be their first holiday season, Hanukkah, Christmas Eve, New Year's, where they may be doing something different than they have for the last 10 years. If you as a parent are feeling the transition and the stress related to it, imagine that times 10, which is what your kids are feeling. So if we as parents can be a little bit more fly by the seat of our pants and grateful and flexible, as Brittany said, hey, I'm running an hour late, it's okay. Communicate that to the opposing party. But when they are running an hour late, extend the same respect. Traffic during the holidays is horrible. So be flexible with the communication. Be flexible with, the way that you speak to the other parent. All the things that we've talked about for the last 2 years should all be really emphasized and implemented in these next couple months.
So, yeah, I think that's great, Kristen, and I really couldn't agree more. I think when I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what practical tip can I give? I think you both might disagree with me, but I'm just sitting here. Bear with me. So, bear with me, get it? Okay. So, no, like, if you have a set custody schedule, you may not have these issues, right? But if you don't, if your custody schedule is vague, and let's say that you call your attorney and you're kind of running down to the wire and you don't have enough time to get into court to really craft a specific schedule for the following weekend, what do you do? I think practically, first step, communication. Second step, if you're both at an impasse, it might make sense to take the loss this year, contingent upon getting it next year. Because while this is not always true, oftentimes something that can be very specific for family law orders is they really want parents to share holidays, right? There's some deviations from that, but for the most part, they really want you to alternate them. There may be some distance issues, etc. But I think, hey, look, if you're practically looking at it and you're saying this holiday is not going to go as planned, okay, well, rather than spending so much energy frustrating and putting stress on your child, because they're going to know something's going on, whether you tell them or not, right? Even though you shouldn't tell them, they're going to see that stress. Maybe let it go in an effort to co-parent and plan really hard for next year. And then the nice thing about this is, say your co-parent takes the win, right? Quote unquote win, takes the holiday, and then decides, no, I'm not gonna, help you out the following year. Well, you got some pretty nice precedents and quite a bit of court time to go in there and probably pretty confidently get you that order.
I agree. I think it's very well said. And when you're in that transition, again, put the kids first. Take the stress off them, sit back, have a nice glass of wine, enjoy a nice bubble bath, and then everybody wins. And I know nobody wants to spend the first holiday, whatever that specific holiday is in your family, over the next, couple months. Take that stress off your kids.
Right.
That's really the moral of this show is your kids come first this holiday season. And I know, being in a very healthy marriage, that my husband and I am a planner, and I'm book. And my husband's like, do we ever get to stay home? Stop planning stuff. And so sometimes our impasse is, okay, I'll take the kids and you can stay home and watch football today. And then everybody wins.
Yeah.
But when kids are doing a different holiday for the first time, they already have anxiety, they already have uncertainties. So take any additional stress off them. I can't tell you how many times I get back to court at the end, I can't tell you how many times I get back to work the end of December after the holidays, and I'm reading police reports and text messages, and I'm getting videos of one parent videoing the exchange, and they're bringing outside third parties that they may be in a relationship with, and I'm like, what the heck happened in the last 5 days? And
it's a great point. I mean, if you are this stressed, how stressed is your child in that situation? And
you know what that child's going to remember? They're going to remember 10 years from now that mommy and daddy were fighting and that they were at the police station. They're not going to remember the love and the holiday cheer or what family meant or, just love and kindness. They're going to remember that mommy and daddy had to, exchange the vehicles and the kids' stuff in front of the police.
And the flip of that is to remember that your kids also aren't going to remember whether or not mommy particularly had Christmas Day or Christmas Eve and daddy had the other day. Your kids are going to remember the memories that you make with them. They're going to remember, oh, that was the year we started baking cookies with mommy every year. And that was the year that dad started taking us to look at Christmas light. They're going to remember the actual memories and the nuances of who had which day and what particular day the memory was made. Isn't going to matter. It's
such a good point.
It is a good
point. Find me a child that doesn't want 2 birthdays. Find me one, right? Why? Why not? Right? And so I'm assuming the same's true for every holiday, right? Maybe a child has a preference for a particular day with a particular parent, but I think you're exactly right, Brittany. In the long scheme of things, what they remember is the good, positive holiday or the good, positive time spent with a parent.
And I think it also circles back, I want to bring it kind of full circle, back to something Kristen said earlier, which was that, for parents, when we stress and we think about the things that we didn't do. I mean, Kristen, if I challenged you right now to look back to last holiday season and tell me one of the things that you were stressing about not accomplishing, you wouldn't be able to remember because it's small minutia.
Yeah, I would say just be the usual holiday stuff.
Exactly.
Something didn't come in.
She got it all done. I saw quite a few Target runs.
Those of us who don't get it all.
I don't get it. I remember packing. We go to Hawaii usually every year. We either leave on the 24th or 25th or 26th. And I had everything done for the holidays, but I hadn't packed myself. And I think we were leaving for Hawaii in like 4 hours. And I remember having a full-on nervous breakdown in my closet, crying, telling my husband I wasn't going. And, and he handles me so funny. He just literally shuts my door and says, okay, well, I'll come back in an hour. And I'm like, you don't understand. Because I had done so much, there was nothing left of me. And I was acting completely irrational, which, does happen at times.
Happens to all of us.
I'm sure as you look back now, though, you think about the great trip and the great memories you made.
Yes,
and what you packed or didn't pack didn't matter in this.
Yeah, and I could have just took a very small bag, and enjoyed the beauty of Hawaii. But, yeah, no, I agree. I think that for everyone, the last couple of years have been challenging on people. And so I encourage you to continue the memories that you've made with your kids and your family. If you don't have kids, this is your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your grandmas. And there are so many things to do during the holiday season that don't cost a lot of money. Like one of my favorite things, we have a couple neighborhoods, that are where these people go completely crazy with their decorations, and I love every second of it. I'm completely here for it. But we get the wagon, we get some instant hot chocolate, and we put on Christmas carols on, the phone, and then we just walk the streets. And it doesn't cost much. And my kids tell me every year, Mom, what day are we gonna go walk Candy Cane Lane?
Yeah.
They remember more about that than they do of me spending hours trying to find the PlayStation that they probably play with for a couple months and then ends up in a bin somewhere.
Right. And I think that's actually kind of brings up another good practical tip is like, it's probably true whether or not you're going through any sort of custody battle or parenting issue, but challenge yourself to create a new tradition.
Yeah.
Right? So you're never going to be able to recreate the old holiday that happened when there was one unit. Like, challenge yourself to make something new.
Yeah.
Something new, something bright, something positive.
Yeah, especially if you are no longer doing ones that you were doing for years because of your situation, make new ones. But if you've been doing traditions that you're either not, that are stressful or they just take too much out of you or that you're not enjoying, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think it was year 2020. My husband tested positive for COVID like 2 days before Christmas. So we put him in a hotel. This was, almost 3 years ago. Isn't that crazy? We put him in a hotel for 10 days. I had a 5-month-old and a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. And it was just me. And I remember feeling very, had, high anxiety. And I was trying to figure out how to do it all by myself. And instead of cooking the huge dinner that we usually make, and I'm not the best cook, I went and started a new tradition that now we order Shogun, which is, teppon and sushi. I went and ordered it, picked it up. Kids said it was the best Christmas dinner ever, and now I've done it the last few years.
It's great.
Oh my gosh, life-changing for my end.
Yeah.
I call it in, pick it up, and we enjoy it without me stressing all day about cooking. And nothing's burnt. But yeah, just take what we say, guys. What works for you works. What doesn't work doesn't work. and all three of us can help you out if you're looking for tips, if you're looking for some assistance with your current visitation schedule, or if you have an emergency situation that would warrant the court making an emergency order within the short period of time between now and the holidays, and this is including all of the holidays. Please call us at 1-800-419-7772. That is 1-800-419-7772. We have our whole intake department that can get you on any of our calendars, as soon as tomorrow. But don't wait, make that call. We're here to help with any tips that we've talked about today. Sam's even gonna give some tips on some orcas, and Brittany on some onesie yoga loving goats.
That is incredible. That is just simply incredible.
We're all going to go look up these videos when we get home tonight.
Oh, I have a whole list ready to send.
And if you have some tips for us that we could implement or exercise that you and your families love, please share them with us. You can fill out a web form on our website, custodyqueens.com, or you can send us a message on, social media, Instagram. All three of us are on there, and we'd love to hear from you guys.
Absolutely. And just kind of a quick last tip is if you see some strain between you and your co-parent and, the holidays are quickly approaching, that might be a good indication, or what Kristen and I now call pink flag, to call in to just kind of talk through what your potential options are, right? Kristen, Brittany, and I, and our whole Custody Queens team can talk about your specific case, kind of give you a good feel for what your potential options are and how we can help you have these lasting, detailed court orders to avoid some of the mess that we've talked about today.
Yeah, be proactive so we don't have to be reactive.
Absolutely. And if you want to talk to an attorney but you're not ready to file, make that call now, because this whole journey, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But I am in the month of challenging. We challenged our listeners on the last episode to, donate an unwrapped gift or send a digital gift card for the children and the foster families of Olive Crest. But this episode, we are challenging all of you to embrace the chaos, not put too much pressure on yourselves, put your children first, and choose joy. Okay, and please don't let us hear all of these crazy stories with exchanges going on at the police station, because we want this to be the best holiday season yet.
That's absolutely right. Thank you for coming on again, Brittany. I'm sure you'll be on soon.
Yes, it was a pleasure as always, and Brittany will be a recurring guest. If you would like a consult with Brittany, you can contact our intake department, as I just mentioned, or you can go on Custody Queens on Air or custodyqueens.com and fill out a web form, and our team will get you in touch with her. So enjoy this holiday season, but never forget and always remember, let love rule.